Parents in Britain who force their children to marry will face jail under newly proposed laws. In the last year in the UK, there were more than 2,000 possible cases of people coerced into marriage. The government says the majority involved girls under the age of 21 whose families were from Pakistan or Bangladesh. Well, for more on this, we're joined by Aneeta Prem, the founder and president of Freedom Charity, which raises awareness about forced marriage. Ms. Prem, thank you very much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. There are already laws in the UK to deal with this problem, so explain to us why there is the need to criminalise this.
There are laws, they deal with different aspects, but we welcome today the Prime Minister's saying that he would make forced marriage a criminal offence, because actually what it does, it protects young people. It makes them know very clearly, and there's no mistake, that their parents cannot force them into a marriage against their will.
One of the difficulties in cases like this is convincing the victims to come forward, and there are those who say that this law criminalising forced marriages would actually make it harder for victims to come forward because they may not want to get married, but they don't necessarily want their parents to end up in jail. What do you think?
I think, you know, if we look at England 30 years ago, we had the same argument about domestic violence, where, you know, partners, husbands and wife testify against each other in court. But when we're talking about forced marriage, we're talking about abuse. We're talking about cases which lead to domestic violence. It can lead to abduction, kidnap. It can lead to serial rape. It can lead to, in the most horrendous cases, murder. So when we're talking about criminalising it, I think we need to talk about the whole remit. It's not throwing parents into prison. It's allowing parents to act in a very sensible way that will not persecute their children, because by forcing a child into marriage, it's like selling them into slavery. It's absolutely horrendous for the victims that are forced into marriage.
In many of these cases, the girls or sometimes the boys get taken back to countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh. So it all involves an investigation in these countries as well. It's all fun and well for the government to announce this law, but do you think that there is a willingness from the government to really put the funding behind this that would be needed to follow a lot of these cases?
Well, currently the government do fund cases. The Foreign and Commonwealth Office do track young people that are forced into marriage in all kinds of countries around the world, and I think this will only help young people from a dreadful life if we didn't have this made into a criminal offence.
Aneeta Prem, president of the Freedom Charity, thank you very much for joining us.